Thank
What
you.
is a humanizing experience with cannabis, Danielle?
Oh, a humanizing experience with cannabis would be one that normalizes your experience with cannabis. It's one that connects you with the plant, to others, to yourself, to the planet, to your communities, everything around you.
I think it's also destigmatization, and so more than normalization, it's understanding that this plant is an ally and it's holistically important.
Okay, well, maybe share with us what have been some humanizing experience either of you have experienced or people that you've worked with have experienced.
So we actually just had our first field trip in upstate New York in partnership with a brand called Tonic, and we brought together 30 individuals, totally random, strangers, everything from artists and musicians to people who use cannabis for medicine, and they were able to come together around all of the different things that the plant does. So whether it was learning about CBD and compatible plants, or it was talking about bridging communities between rural and urban and getting to connect with each other on a deeper level through the plant, using it as a conduit.
So you have another field trip coming up in December as well. What do you hope to learn from that field trip that maybe taking some of the learnings from the New York field trip as well?
Well, we have a panel discussion at the assemblage, which is called Breaking the Glass Ceiling, Women Making Impact in the War on Drugs. So it's quite frankly, it's about women's part in this fight for cannabis, as well as, the destigmatization and coming up with
Well, just, making sure that everybody has equity in this space, so it's not just people who are coming from pharmaceutical industry and big corporations that are coming in and mass producing and changing the quality of the plant and allowing people of color, women, everybody to have a fair shot.
What role does cannabis actually play in the field trips, in the experiences? And the reason I ask is because, well, cannabis is legal recreationally in a lot of states throughout the country, and it seems to be growing every time we have an election. I guess pun intended with growing. But at this point in New York, it's not legal recreationally, it's only legal medicinally.
The plants that we were working with were CBD plants, so they are legal for growing, and for us it's about making people aware and just understanding that they too have a connection to this plant. They've had it for thousands of years, that they can utilize it for more than just healing their body, but also as a way to connect to others.
What is your outlook on legalization in New York?
Well, we're on our way.
I think it's pretty much around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have competition, you're going to have people going to New Jersey, you're going to have people going to Massachusetts. Like, they're going to have to figure it out. And I think just all of the tax incentives, like opportunities to, lower taxes in certain things and use that money for other things, is definitely a reason for people in New York, our politicians, to pay attention.
Well, one thing that we're seeing in Colorado and other states that have legalized cannabis is the idea that the industry is actually controlled by a relatively small number of people rather than by a diverse group of people. How do you prevent that from happening around the country, and especially once there is widespread legalization, from the large pharmaceutical companies essentially controlling the entire industry?
Education. I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think education is the most important thing, that our buying dollars have power. Who are we supporting? Who are we not supporting? Who are we leaving out of the equation? Because yes, legalization is around the corner, but the laws are not equal. Who can smoke, where they can smoke is not equal. Who has access? Where can we put our money?
I also think partnerships are really important in coalition building. Like, we're small potatoes in this industry right now, and what we're doing is using our voices and amplifying them in different situations in order to get those people who are, lobbying and working with lobbyists and having those conversations up in Albany so that they can put what we think is important on the agenda. And our bottom line is equity. We want everybody to have a fair share. We don't want, as I said in the beginning, to have this only led by a certain group of people.
What's been the best way to attract people to your movement?
Well, I think that we're leading with diversity and we're leading with inclusion.
But how do you actually get people to sign up for these field trips? How do you get people to come to the meetings? What's been effective?
They hear us speak. Sometimes on panel discussions, they've come to previous experiences.
Hopefully this.
Hopefully this.
Just spreading the word, getting it out there, and letting people know that this is not an enemy. Cannabis is not our enemy. It's actually there to help us in so many ways. And with that education, once you know all the different ways, the multifaceted ways that cannabis is here for us, then I think more people will stand up and join in the fight and come along with us in this coalition.
As a female-led duo in particular, how do you hope to empower women in this space?
I think it's leading by example and partnering with them and knowing that regardless of what your background is, where you come from, whether you're doing product, whether you're doing distribution or you're on a farm, like we're here to amplify and help you, and we hope that together we can partner as well as finding allies. It's not just having women talking to women, like allyship from males and other people who have any kind of power in this industry. We need to find a way to align with them and have those conversations to bring this forward.
Give us some of the benefits that you've unlocked with cannabis, and with the caveat that this is not a pharmaceutical drug. It has not been evaluated by the FDA at this point. But in terms of your experiences, what have you found that it helps people with? Because you're talking so much about the benefits of it.
I mean, beyond letting loose and opening up my mind and connecting to other people, it also just connects to my entire system and allows it to operate in a nice, smooth, functioning way, from my sleep to my digestion, everything.
Yeah, definitely dosing on CBD when you're thinking about anxiety, coming here to talk to you guys. And also, you know, for me, I'm a musician, I sing. It definitely helps with my creativity and, like she said, connecting with other humans.
Well, great stuff, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I
That's
appreciate it.
cannabis activists and the co-founders of Humble Bloom, Danniel, Swatosh, and Solonje Burnett. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.